Well, hello, this is Adam, and welcome back to Rare Classic Cars. Today, just a brief little tour and walk around of two super rare 1974 Mercurys. Where else are you going to see a wagon, the Colony Park wagon, and a Marquis base coupe in the same place at the same time? Nowhere else but here. So I mentioned this is a 74 Colony Park wagon, the Lincoln Continental of wagons, if you will. At least that's how Mercury advertised it at the time. And this one also has, if you've watched the video, you know it has the luxury package option, which upgraded the interior to what is effectively the Marquis Brome interior with twin comfort lounge seats and this really durable fabric. This car is also fully loaded with automatic temperature control, power windows, 460 V8, AM/FM radio. So it's got quite a few things. Passenger side recliner, as I mentioned, the luxury interior package. So well-equipped vehicle. This one is, contrarily, a base car, and really all it has is the appearance protection group, the rub strip and the bumper guard option, tinted glass, air conditioning, and really that's about it. Has manual crank windows, manual locks, manual seat, but regardless, I love the way this looks. You can think of this as kind of like Steve McGarrett's wife's car and Steve McGarrett's weekend cruiser. So same cars, well, not quite the same, but close enough that were used on the original series of Hawaii Five-0. That was a black 74 Marquis Brome four-door hardtop, which was the last year of the four-door hardtop for full-size Fords. It also had some really unique modifications. If you look at the car, it has this molding moved down a little bit and shortened so that it terminates above or ahead of the wheel here. And then the license plate, it has a front license plate mount, but it's in the middle of the vehicle as opposed to being off to the side. So why they did that, I don't quite know. I personally don't like the side-mounted front license plate. This one had it when I bought it. I took it off. This car I got in Michigan. It was originally bought in Appleton, Wisconsin, then went south for most of its life, and then it made its way to Michigan. And I bought it for really almost nothing. It needed some work. It didn't run right. The carburetor flooded out. The control arm bushings, which is typical on these, were toasted. The big block Fords, they just reject so much heat under hood that the control arm bushings go bad and you get a squeaky front end, and then the alignment is off. So replace those. At the same time, these cars, when they came from the factory from Ford, didn't have grease fittings in the ball joints as well as the tie rod ends and the various components in the front end. And thankfully, somebody had added the grease fittings to the ball joints, but they didn't add it to any other areas of the front suspension and steering. So they were pretty tired and worn out and stiff, never having been lubricated, in spite of the dealer receipt saying that it was, which is very typical for these. They just have little caps that you unscrew and then you thread in a grease fitting. I guess Ford saved a couple nickels, each time they did that, and then made the dealers charge the customer at the first service. Sometimes the dealers did it, sometimes the dealers didn't. This car I just picked up in Park Ridge, Illinois, and it was on Facebook Marketplace. Both of these were on Facebook Marketplace, by the way. My favorite place to get cars. I tell people now because I don't need any more cars. I've got plenty of cars, but I couldn't pass this up. It's one of 82 in black, one of 14 black exterior, black interior, base 74 Marquis Coupes. The Colony Park wagon, they only made about 10,000 of them in 1974. This one is about one of 20 that I know that are left registered in the US, 74 Colony Park wagons. Super, super, super rare. Only selling 10,000 new. These things were pretty beat up and used and abused, and they're just not around anymore. So I will say that they are both supremely quiet, comfortable cruisers. The wagon is interestingly on the LTD wheelbase, the 121-inch wheelbase. The Marquis is on the 124-inch wheelbase, and if you got a Lincoln, it was a 127-inch wheelbase. But in spite of it being on the shorter wheelbase, it is an immensely large car with big overhangs. And this is also has the rear seat option, the third row seat where you face each other. So lots of room in this thing, really quiet and comfortable. Let's take a quick walk around them. Okay, so let's start with this Colony Park. You can see it has the yacht deck paneling on the side. which is this kind of vinyl sticker, but it has the planks in it. And overall, super comfortable interior here. You can see the automatic temperature control, AM/FM radio, super thick cut pile carpeting, which is not on the base Marquis, by the way, but was on the Marquis Bromes in this Colony Park luxury trim. Interestingly, they kept the Marquis label here as opposed to it saying Brome, which if you got the Marquis Bromes, it did say Brome there. And plenty of space in the rear. Both of these front seats are pretty much all the way back. Great door closure sounds. It is a Ford of the era. And you can see in the back here, the Colony Park rear treatment. This one does have the roof rack. That's the spare tire well there. And here is this stunning 74 in black. They brought back the trunk lock cover there in 74. It was gone in 73 and 72. I have no idea why it went away for 2 years. Probably cost. And you notice this car's got a lot of Lincoln Continental-esque themes. The 3 blocky taillights in the back. The hood is also quite Continental-esque, as is the block lettering in 74 on the front. This doesn't have the fender peak molding, which would be very Lincoln-esque, a la 1961 Continental, because it's not a Brome. It's just the standard Marquis. But ultra menacing look up front here. This one does have, I guess, optional passenger side mirror too, which is pretty rare. Those passenger side mirrors really didn't start coming in to vogue until the mid-70s. And here you can see I've steam cleaned the interior. Looks absolutely like new. Front and back. Dash, carpets, everything. So getting this thing back together for a full review. I still have to fix the driver's window. One step at a time. Cosmetics are the easiest. I start there. Oil changes, basics, drivability. And like I said, if this were a Marquis Brome, you'd also have the little, I would say, Brome underneath there. I did add these luxury wheel covers. I think these are especially good looking on these Mercurys. The standard wheel cover was a bit different. This actually were 3 wheel covers. There was the one that was standard on the 74 that I'll put a picture of. Then there was this one that was standard on the Marquis Bromes with the griffins in the middle and that crest. Then there was this one that was optional. I think this one's the best looking of the bunch. So, hope you enjoyed this brief walk around. Stay tuned for a more detailed tour of the black Marquis. But where else can you see it compared to a wagon of the same year? Thought that would be a fun little visual comparison for everybody. I wish they made hardtop wagons, but those were gone really by the 60s era. Chrysler had them for some time. This, by the way, is medium copper metallic is the name of that paint color. Here we are cruising in the Colony Park. 70 miles an hour. Quiet, smooth. Just a great road trip car. Aside from the gas mileage, which is not great. Probably about 13 miles per gallon freeway, 8 to 9 in town. Just a heavy car. It's almost 5,000 pounds, so a little tough to squeeze more out of it. But I don't drive it that frequently. And when I do, it's just a pleasure. Such a smooth riding car. Even handles pretty well for its size and weight. And comfortable with cut pile carpeting. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, check out the video thumbnails at bottom left and right for some suggestions for you.